Today, we're doing something a little different because if you've been paying attention to the internet lately, or honestly, just paying attention to your own life, you're probably seeing too little words floating around. Let them. And here's the thing 90% of the content you see about this is just a nice, calming, deep breath kind of thing. Let it go. It is what it is. All of that good stuff. But I'm not here to give you a platitude. I'm here to ruin that slightly. Because let them go isn't a chill mantra. It's actually the most aggressive act of self defense you can ever perform. It's the combat knife of emotional health. And if you use it right, it's going to feel less like sitting in a Zen garden and more like pulling a splinter out of your soul that's been festering for years. Okay, let's stop being nice about it. Let's talk about why this is so hard and where it is actually comes from. And why the only person who is really losing when you refuse to go is you. Let's start at the top. Usually, when you hear let them go, it sounds passive. It sounds like surrendering, like you're just waving a white flag at fate. But honestly, that's dead wrong. The reality is that not letting go is one of the most vain, narcissistic things you can do. I know that sounds harsh, but stay with me. When someone walks away from you or when a situation turns sour, what is the absolutely first thing your brain does? It tries to fix it. We need to talk. What did I do wrong? I know you didn't mean that. Let's figure this out. On the surface, that feels noble. It feels like you are a fighter. It feels like you are loyal, but dig 1 millimeter deeper. Why are you really holding on? Is it because you love them so much? Or is it because your ego cannot handle the idea that you were not enough to keep them there? We treat relationships, romantic, platonic, or even professional ones, like puzzles we haven't solved yet. We think, if I just turn this piece the right way, it will click into place. We try to force the other person's behavior to match the fantasy we have in our heads. We pressure, we push, we recommend, we nudge. That's not love. That is control. We need to feel like we are the author of the story. We need the narrative to be that we fix the broken bird and then we're so special that we change their mind. The let them go philosophy isn't about indifference. It's the ultimate ego check. It forces you to look in the mirror and admit, I cannot control this. I'm not the protagonist of their life. We all try to manage someone else's behavior. We try to get someone to love us more, to appreciate us more deeply. And every single time we walk away disappointed because they didn't meet our expectations, no matter how reasonable those expectations seem to us. The more we try to force a friend's behavior or manage their moods, the more it triggers conflict. Their needs for autonomy clashes with our desire to manage them. And here's the kicker that needs to fix things isn't really about them. It's about our own anxiety. You feel uncomfortable with the uncertainty of these situations, yet you cross the boundary and try to change them so you can stop feeling worried or upset. You are literally trying to outsource your emotional regulations to them, and that is the trap. We exhaust ourselves trying to be a hero, trying to be a therapist, trying to be the fixer. And what happens? We burn out. We get resentful and they don't change. So, why do we do it? The psychology is actually pretty brutal. We often stay in situations that don't serve us, whether it's a job, or friendships, or romantic relationships, because we are afraid of what happens next. Specifically, we are afraid of grief. Letting go and moving on requires you to confront the losses and feels the pain associated with that loss. There's no getting around grief, you just have to go through it. The brain is programmed to prefer the familiar over the unknown. Even if the familiarity is slowly killing you, at least you know the specific way it's killing you. But there's another layer to this that people don't talk about. It's the sunk cost fallacy. You think, I've put 3 years into this. I've been friends with her since high school. We have a history. You treated the past investment as a reason to stay, but here's the cold harsh truth. The past does not matter. Only the present and the future matters. Staying because of history is like walking down a train track looking backward. You're going to trip. And then there's the final heartbreaking layer, potential. How many of us have looked at someone, a partner, a friend, a family member, and fallen in love with their potential instead of their reality? Have you ever tried to mother someone into their potential, especially when they didn't want to grow? You see this brilliant, amazing person inside them, and you think, if I just love them hard enough, they will become that person. Well, they won't. You cannot heal someone who is committed to their own chaos. You are not a rehabilitation center. You are a human being. We can actually trace this concept back way before Instagram therapy posts. The idea of letting go is one of the most revered psychological and spiritual principles in human history. Take Stoicism. Epictetus had this wide way of looking at things. He said, if you're fond of a joke, says, this is a joke that I'm fond of, and then if it's get broken, you won't be upset. If you kiss your child or your wife, say to yourself that it's a human being you are kissing, and then if one of them should die, you won't be upset. At first glance, it sounds like a sociopath handbook, right? You're not supposed to be sad when a kids die. But that's not what the philosophy is about. It's not about emotional numbness, it's about non attachment, a state in which a person overcomes attachment to desire for things, peoples, or concepts, getting a heightened perspective. It's about recognizing that attachment to transient things is the root of suffering. You will lose that job. You will lose that person eventually, whether through a breakup, distance, or death. It is inevitable. The trick isn't to avoid loving the drug. The trick is to love it fully while acknowledging that it is temporary. Buddhism has a similar concept. The Four Noble Truths essentially state that craving and clinging leads to dissatisfactions. The Tao Te Ching, written by Lao Tzu thousands of years ago, saying it's even more poetically in chapter 2. Things comes her way and she does not stop them. Things leave and she lets them go. She has without possessing and acts without any expectations. To do the work and let it go, for just letting go, it is what makes it stay. This is the beautiful paradox, right? When you stop trying to possess something, when you open your hands, and that is when you actually have the capacity to receive it genuinely. When you close your fist and grip the sand as hard as you can, it just falls through the cracks. It's when you open your palm that the sands rest there peacefully. In Taoism, letting go of attachment, whether to people, past hurts, expectation, or control, is how you find freedom in the flow of life. They talk about Wu Wei, or doing by not doing. Forcing things will fail. Trying to cling will lose. So, when we talk about let them go, we aren't saying don't care. We are saying stop strangling the cat. Here's where the humor and irony kicks in. Because once you drop the rope, something magical happens. Or it doesn't. Either way, you win. We have all heard about a stupid song. If you love somebody, let them go. If they come back, they are yours. If they don't, they never were. It sounds cheesy, but the mechanisms behind it is ironclad psychology warfare. When you are chasing, when you are the one texting first, making plans, crying, explanation, begging, you are signaling low value. You are signaling that you have nothing else going on. You are crowding the other person, making them feel claustrophobic. The human animal craves space. We want what we can't have. We are repulsed by what is too available. Let them go is the actual power move, not because you are playing a game, but because you are choosing your own dignity. By stepping back, you do two things. You remove the pressures and you return to yourself. And honestly, whether they come back or not is irrelevant. Because by the time you actually detached, like really detached, you often realize you don't actually want them anymore. You were addicted to the drama, not the person. Modern interpretations of this let them concepts always pairs it with the second step, let me. The theory is that if you're going to let them walk away, you have to follow up with let me. Focus on my own life. Let me honor my own feelings. Let me set a healthy boundary. Detachment isn't emotional shutdown. It's observing someone's choices without tying your identity or emotional safety to them. It's an act of emotional clarity, not coldness. Okay, you are convinced. You are ready to let them go. But your finger is still twitching, reaching for your phone. Here's the messy, ugly, practical guide. Because knowing the philosophy is easy, doing the dishes when they're gone is hard. Well, step one is drop the shovel. Just stop digging. You cannot explain your way into their heart. You cannot logic them to loving you. You cannot win an argument and win them back. If you are pulling away, trying to pull harder, just make the rope burn your hand. Put the rope down. Let them judge you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them gossip about you. Let them be right. Let them not like you. Let them not speak to you. This isn't passive aggressive. This is realizing that their opinion of you is literally none of your business. And let them be real about this. And people would rather lose you than be honest about what they have done to you. They will let you walk away rather than admit fault. So let them. The lack of respect is the closure, and the lack of apology is the closure. The lack of accountability is the closure. And step two is grief. Everybody wants to skip this part. I'm going to manifest and be happy. No. You need to sit in the muck. Letting go is much like grieving a loss. If you suppress, ignore, or deny your feelings, you will actually extend the grieving process. You're going to feel sad. You're going to feel angry. You might have sleepless nights and countless tears. That is normal. That is the signal that you actually care. And the one thing you absolutely cannot do is hold the grief and hold on to the hope that they will change at the time. That is the loop of doom. And you have to accept that the thing is dead before you can bury it. Step 3 is the stories we tell ourselves. Identify the limiting beliefs. Usually, it's the story that says, I will never find someone else like them. Or, what if I'm actually the problem? That thought keeps people stuck more than anything else. But here's the reality. If you're asking that question and doing genuine self-reflections, you are likely already doing the inner work that the other person isn't. Check your reality. You might be having selective memory, only focusing on the 5% of the good times and ignoring the 95% garbage fire. because of the fear of being alone is louder than the sound of alarms going off. And step 4 is radical acceptance. This is the hardest part. Accepting that you may never get an apology, accepting that you may never get justice, accepting that they think you are the villain. People aren't necessarily bad or uncaring, they are just who they are. They are not a problem for you to solve, they are just a person making their own choice. And here's the ultimate freedom. Access to you is a privilege, not a right. You can be kind, you can even still love them, but you have to do it from the distance their words and actions create. You don't have to hate them. You just have to stop letting them sit at the table of your life while they throw foods on the floor. Let's talk about something that doesn't get discussed enough. Relationships that don't end in a fight, but just fade. You know the ones. You used to talk every day, now it's radio silence. There's no villain, just distance. You see this happens when you move cities, when lives get busy, or when you just don't have the same rhythm anymore. You try to force a FaceTime call once a month and it feels like a root canal. It's forced, it's not flowing. Here's the radical take. That's okay. You don't have to hate them. You don't have to have a dramatic confrontation. You just have to accept that the seasons has changed. Just because somebody in your life right now doesn't mean you have to be against them. You are going to grow and they're going to grow. You're going to change and they're going to change. And it's beautiful when you keep the door open for that to happen. Sometimes the most favorite people of your life actually ahead of you, they're not behind you. You cannot hold on to the past and make room for the future. I have to add a massive caveat here, because the internet loves to take things too far. Let them go should not be an excuse to become an isolated, bitter jerk who blocks everyone the second they have a bad day. The let them mantra has become this massive trend. In fact, some people joke that 2025 was dominated by let them theory, but 2026 will be the let them be petty. That theory promises inner peace, but for many, it's just taught us how to look emotionally evolved, not necessarily be it. So be careful. If the relationship is chronically disrespectful, injurious, or tormenting, yes, so let them go. But the danger lies in the categorically dismissing or abandoning relationships every time a minor issue arises. Sometimes the clash of a disagreement is actually an opportunity for growth. That discussions can be a pathway to greater intimacy. You cannot use let them go as a weapon to punish people for not reading your mind. It's about balancing the let them with the let me. Let me communicate my needs before I walked out the door. So let's break this home. What is let them go? It's not failure, it's not giving up. It's the most active, aggressive, violent act of self-preservation you can commit. It is looking at the chaos, looking at the disrespect, looking at the lukewarm energy and politely excusing yourself. It's realizing that you cannot force people to behave differently than they want to. You can't make them choose you. You cannot make them respect you. You cannot make them see your worth, and that's their job. And if they cannot do it, you don't need to hold a seminar to teach them. You just need to find a new audience. The more you try to control, the more you will lose yourself. But once you let go, once you stop trying to force people to change, they sometimes change. Not because you push harder, but because you stop pushing. The sage of Taoism said it's best. Things comes her way and she does not stop them. Things leave and she lets them go. So I dare you. Let them be late, let them be rude, let them leave you on red, let them be wrong about you, let them downgrade. And while they are doing all that, just go to the gym, sleep early, start the business, find people who don't need a map to see your value. You are not the anchor keeping the boat in the harbor. You are the ship. And the only way you will sail is you to cut the ropes to the dock that are already rotting. Let them go.